Today we will talk about chapter 7, which is about kinetic energy and work. As we agreed previously, I will start solving questions, each question with a new idea, and we will discuss the concept during the questions. Okay, so I assume you already studied this chapter and you know all the concepts. If you have any question, please interrupt me and ask me directly. Okay, Bismillah. First question. Here we have a machine carries 4 kilogram package. So we have the mass is 4 kilogram. From an initial position, D1 is equal to 2 meter in the J direction at T0. This is called T1. To final position, D2. Okay. ما في صورة يا شباب؟ شباب شايفين الشاشة؟
ايه شايفينها.
ايه شايفينها.
طيب شباب اللي باعث ما في صورة اعمل ريستارت، اتوقع امورك طيبة يعني. عبد الرحمن اطلع وارجع كمان مرة، اتوقع امورك طيبة ان شاء الله. Okay, let's continue. So we have the final position D2 equal to 2 in the I direction plus 3 in the J direction at T2 or T final are equal to 4 seconds. Now, the constant force applied by the machine on the package is equal to F equal 4 Newton in the I direction. Find the average power of the machines for the package. We know that the average power, the average, is equal to work divided by delta T. And we know that the work is equal to F dot D. تمام يا شباب? Here we have F, but here we have D1 and D2. So to find D, the displacement, it is equal to final displacement D2 minus D1, which is equal to I plus 3J minus 2J is equal to 1J. So I have D, I have already F. I can do the dot product directly. Note that F only in the I direction. So it will be the power or the work will be F I multiplied by I, which is equal to 4 multiplied by 2, 8 plus 0. Clear يا شباب? Okay, so the power is equal to 8 divided T2 minus T1, which is equal to 4 minus 0. Here the answer is equal to what? Is this question clear?
ضربنا بالفورس بس بالاي كومبوننت الاكس كومبوننت عشانها الفورس بالاكس كومبوننت صح؟
Yes, we have F, look here, F equal to 4I, and we have D equal to 2I plus J. When you do dot product F dot D, this means 4I plus 0J. It will be 4 times 2 plus 0 times 1. Okay? تمام. Okay. Let's go to another question. And I will try to cover as much as I can. Here we have a 8,000 Newton. This is the weight. Car is traveling at V initial equal to 12 meters per second along a horizontal road. When the brakes are applied, the car slides to stop. Stop mean V final equal to 0 in 4 seconds. This is the time equal to 4 seconds or delta time. Find the work done on the car. He is looking to the work. We know that the work is equal to change of kinetic energy. which is equal K final minus K initial. So the work equal half mv final squared minus half mv initial squared. Since v final is 0, so I know this one is 0. صحيح يا شباب؟
صحيح.
Okay. But here I don't have the mass, but I have the weight is equal to 8,000. So the mass,
أقسم على 9.8.
yes, is equal 8,000 divided by 9.8. So the work will be equal minus. لاحظوا إنه عندي في minus here. So I can predict that the answer either A or D. Let's continue. Half times mass, either you calculate it directly or put it as is, over 898 times V initial squared, which is equal to 12 squared. If you calculate this one, you will get the following answer. Work will be minus 5.8776 joule. Okay, but we don't have similar answer here. What we can do, we can move الفاصل شباب الدوت هذه, we can move it up to here. So it will be equal to minus 5.8776 times 10 to power 4 joule. You can just round it to minus 5.9 times 4 joule. Clear يا شباب؟ الآن الايديا here كانت عندي الماس. That's it. Okay شباب. Now let's go to another concept. Please again do the attendance. We will have 1 minute to do the attendance. طيب شباب. If you remember, we know that the work is equal for the if we have a variable force is equal to integration of x initial to x final f of x dx, and this can be defined as area under the curve. Yani if I have a variable force, not constant force, we can use this formula. If I have a graph, just find the area under this curve, like what we did in chapter 2. Here, figure 1 shows 4 graphs of the x component of a variable force directed along the x-axis versus the position of a particle on which the force acts. Rank the graphs according to the work done by the force on the particle from x0 to x1, from most positive work to most negative. يعني means from the highest positive work to the lowest. Okay, I know that it's the area under the curve. Now, this is from 0 and this x1. تمام؟ لاحظ, note that this f1, this minus f1, which means this area is equal to this area. So work here, if I say this one and this is minus 1, work should be equal to 0. Now go to B, you will find this area is equal to this area. So the total work will be equal this area, this square. Okay. Now if you go to this one, you will find this one is equal to this one. This, remember, above the x-axis is positive, below is negative. So the work here will be equal this area, while in here we have this area equal to this area, and the work here is equal to this negative area. By looking at these areas, we will find work 2 is the highest positive. So it is starting from B. And then A will be 0. Then we have C is greater than, it's negative, but greater than, it's less negative than D. So it is C and then D. Do you understand this question?
Yes.
يعني, in other words, just calculate the area under the peak. Above x-axis will be positive, below negative, and subtract them. Clear يا شباب؟ طيب. Okay. Another question. All of these are exam questions. A 20-gram particle, here we have the mass, is moving to the left in this direction at speed 30 meters per second. So this is V initial. How much total work, he's looking for the work, must be done on the particle to make it move to the right at the same speed? Which means I have a particle moving in this direction. I need to apply work to make him flip and going in the other direction for the same speed. Okay, we know that work is change of kinetic energy, which is equal to K final minus K initial. So it is equal half mv final squared minus half mv initial squared. Okay, I can half times, note that the mass in gram, I can convert it to kilogram. Just multiply by 10 to minus 3. Okay, time V final is 30 to the right, which is positive, squared, minus half times 20, 10 to minus 3, minus 30, this one because it's the left, the initial, squared. And by squaring 30, the negative will be eliminated, so we get 0. Clear يا شباب؟
clear.
Yes.
ايش ال 0.02؟ ما فهمتهاش. Yes, okay. عبد الرحمن said we can convert 20 gram to 0.02. Okay, simply if you just move this point here, I move it in this direction. I usually use time to minus 3, which means you divide it by 1000. طيب.
دكتور
شوي تبدا الاسئله شوي اصعب. تفضل.
دكتور
تم.
الحين انت ما سويت اللي هو ماينس في ماينس، يعني ما يطلع موجب؟
كيف ماينس في ماينس؟
في النيجاتيف 30 وفي ماينس على برا.
No, I use here في عندك square because it is half mv square.
صح.
اول شيء الاولويات انك تسوي لي سكويرد. طيب يا شباب. Here we have another question. A point object is acted on by a force. You have, this is the force. It's 4i minus 2.5j plus 9k at an instant. The object's velocity has only y component. This means that v is equal to vj. Okay, this is the meaning of this statement. And the instantaneous rate at which the force does work, which means the power is equal to minus 12 watt. Determine the instantaneous speed, this one, of the object. Okay, شباب. طالب, he asked for the instantaneous speed. Okay, I know that the instantaneous power or the rate is equal to F dot V. Okay, here let me substitute. F is equal 4i minus 2.5j plus 9k dot v عندي only okay 0i plus vj plus 0k because they said that has only y component and this is equal to minus 12. Okay شباب. Okay, minus 12 is equal to 4i times 0 0 minus 2.5j times vj is equal to minus 2.5 v. 9k times 0 0. So v will be equal to minus 12 divided by minus 2.5. Minus with minus will go. This give us 4.8 meter per square. Clear شباب? So I have different formula for the power. Okay شباب. Here we have a 500 kilogram elevator, which means this is the mass, is pulled upward بهذا الاتجاه, in this direction, with constant force applied 500 or 5500 Newton for a distance which is d is equal to 50 meter. What is the net work done on the elevator by all forces? He is looking for the net work. Okay, here is the elevator. We have the gravitational force and we have upward the applied force. So we have net work is equal to work due to gravitational force plus work due to applied force. For the work due to the gravitational force is equal to mg d cosine theta plus the work applied is equal to fa d cosine theta. Now our job is to find cosine theta. We know that it's upward. تمام? The acceleration is upward because it is pulled upward. So the angle between FA and the direction of D, let's say this is D, okay? The acceleration الأعلى, but this is the direction of D, is equal to 0, right? So cosine 0 is equal to 1, while FG or MG is to down, while the D above. So they have opposite direction, which means theta is equal 180. So cosine theta is equal to minus 1. Clear هذه يا شباب? So we have minus mg d plus fa d. You can just substitute minus 500 times 9.8 times 50 plus 500 5,500 times 50. If you calculate this one, it will get you, it will give you 30,000 joule, which is equivalent to 3 times 10 to the power 4 joule. Clear يا شباب?
Is there any different method or something?
Again, please.
Is there any different method?
ما أدري. Different method? If you have any other different method, I can explain it to you in another way. But this is the easiest way.
But doctor, there is one minus. Why it's with positive now?
Okay, try to calculate it. If you have calculator, do it.
Yeah, okay.
5500 ضرب 50 أكبر من هذا الرقم. This one is greater than this one. If you do it in calculator, it will become positive. Okay, شباب?
Yeah, I just forget about the plus.
Okay. Clear? Should I repeat? Should I explain in another way?
Another way? It's clear like that, but if you have another way.
It's clear? Okay. Okay, Shabab. Let's go to another question. Now, we have a 12 Newton force, here we have F, with fixed orientation does work on a particle as the particle moves through the XY plane with displacement, this is D. What is the angle between the force and the displacement? He's looking for theta. If the change in the particle kinetic energy, which is delta K, equal to 30 joule. Okay, we know that work is equal to delta K, and work is equal to F dot D, which is equal to delta K, and F dot T dot equal to F D cosine theta equal to delta K. So cosine theta is equal to delta K over FD. So theta is equal to cosine inverse delta K over FD. Here we have D as a vector, but D here should be a magnitude. So we can say that the magnitude of D is equal square root of 3 squared plus minus 4 squared. If you calculate this one, it will give you 5. So just substitute. This will be cosine inverse. Delta K is given 30 joule divided by F, which is 12 times 5, 30 over 60, which is half. So theta should be equal to 60 degrees. Clear, Shabab?
Clear.
Okay. Another common question.
دكتور بس ترجع للسؤال اللي قبل شوي بصور الشاشة.
ابشر.
إذا ما عليك أمر.
دكتور في ريكورد الحين، الريكورد هذا وين بينزل؟
بنزل على الشات.
تمام.
خلاص يعطيك العافية.
اوكي.
حضرته يا دكتور ولا؟
ما حضرت بعدني. انت خلص لوحدك تشوف الباركود، حضر لوحدك. يعني this is يعني I cannot force you to make attendance, but يعني kindly do it.
يعني الباركود هذا انا احسبه يعني شرح للسؤال.
No, this barcode for attendance. Okay, don't worry. We will have another barcode now. A helicopter lift 60 kilogram. This is the mass. Astronaut 15 meter vertically. This is D. Vertically left, so it is up. From the ocean by means of cable. The acceleration of the astronaut, which is A, is equal to G times 10. G, which is 9.8. Vertically up, so the acceleration up as well. How much work is done on the astronaut? He's looking for work. From the helicopter, so we need the work due to helicopter. Consider the initial speed, this is V initial, is equal to 0, and ignore the air resistance. Here we have an astronaut. The force is acting on this astronaut is the mg down, and the tension due to the cable. Okay, Shabab? And the acceleration upward, which is the direction of distance. Okay, according to Newton's second law, so he is looking for W due to H, due to the helicopter, يعني tension, from the tension. Now, from Newton's second law, we know that F net is equal to MA, but F net is equal to tension up minus mg down. This is equal to MA. So the tension is equal to mg plus MA. Tamam? And also tension, which is actually it's equal to the force from the helicopter, is equal to mg plus m instead of a, g over 10, because this one is given here. A equal G over 10. This equal to M times 11 G over 10. Okay, شباب. Now the work is equal due to helicopter is equal to F helicopter dot distance. Now the direction of force is up and the direction of distance is up. So cosine theta between them is equal to 1, which is equal to FH phi D. So FH is M, the heat tension, times 11 G over 10 times distance D. Substitute, which is equal to 60 times 11 times 9.8 divided by 10 times 15 meter, and this will give you 9702 joule. If you will not find this answer, you can convert it, and this equal to 9.7 10 to power 3 joule, which is our answer. Clear يا شباب؟
دكتور الحين الاف هليكوبتر كيف صارت تساوي الاف نت؟
Okay, if helicopter does not equal to F net. Okay.
السطر الرابع سويت.
Okay. F helicopter هي tension, exactly the tension. Here we have F net is equal to MA. What is the F net? All forces acting on the astronaut. What is the forces? We have tension up, and we have mg down. This equal to MA. Now tension, it is the F helicopter. This one is F helicopter. Okay, so F helicopter is equal to MA plus mg. Okay, but instead of A, I put G over 10. So it is equal to mg over 10 plus mg. خذ الmg عامل مشترك. mg 1 over 10 plus 1, which is equal to 10 over 10, which is equal to
11
على 10. Okay, this is equal to FH or tension, مش الF net. Clear?
Clear. دكتور وما كتبت انت الكوزاين because the angle between them is zero.
Because here let me choose another color. Here F dot D equal to F D cosine theta, but the direction of F or the tension where up. The direction of D هم رفعوا they elevated elevation when مكتوبة left. Left. What's the meaning of left? رفعوا لفوق ولا نزلوا لتحت؟ فوق. So the direction of D up. So cosine theta is equal to cosine 0, which is equal to 1. Okay, because the angle between FH and D is equal to 0. Clear?
Clear.
Okay. Okay, here is another common question. We have a 50 kilogram box. طبعا if you understand this question, you will be understanding chapter 5 and chapter 6 and chapter 7. Okay? Such questions يعني explain chapter 5 or summarize chapter 5, 6 and 7. We have mass, a box of 50 kilogram is pulled at constant speed. This is keyword, means the acceleration is equal to how much?
Zero.
Zero.
Good. Constant speed, acceleration is equal to 0. 12 meter up, which means this is the D and the direction of D in this direction. Okay? يعني كذا اتجاه D. D is up. A plane 60 degree. Theta is 60 degree. Above the horizontal by the force parallel to the plane. Here is the force parallel to plane. This is F. See figure 1. The coefficient of kinetic friction between the box and the plane, which is mu k, is equal to 0.3. How much work is done by the applied force? We are looking by force, work due to applied force, which means this one. Okay, we need the work due to the applied force. Okay, تمام. الwork due to applied force equal to F applied, خلينا نسميها هذه applied dot D. Okay, the direction of D and the direction of force in the same direction, right? بالتالي equal to F D. تمام؟ because cosine theta between them is equal to 1. Clear؟ ولا اكتبها؟
واضح دكتور.
ما يحتاج.
But I don't have the applied force. I don't know. So I need to analyze. What's the forces on this acting on this body? We have mg,
normal force and gravitational force and
yes,
frictional force.
Fn. Since we have a friction, we have friction force.
Yes.
Tamam? But I need to analyze the mg because it is not vertical nor horizontal. Here we have mg cosine 60, and here we have mg sine 60. Tamam? So what's the forces in the according to Newton's second law? So F net in the x direction equal to ma, which is equal to 0. Why? It's constant speed. صح؟ طيب. What is the F net in the x direction? We have F applied to the right minus friction force minus mg sine 60. This equal to 0, right? But I know that Fk is equal to mu k Fn, and here from y direction I know this particle cannot move up and down, so Fn minus mg cosine 60 is equal to 0, so Fn equal to mg cosine 60. Here F net in the y direction equal to ma, which is equal to 0, because the particle cannot move up or down. صحيح؟ ويتحرك يمين ويسار, not up or down. So we have Fn minus mg cosine 60 is equal to 0, or Fn equal to mg cosine 60. So بالتالي صارت عندي F applied minus, instead of Fk, mu k mg cosine 60 minus mg sine 60 equal to 0. And I'm looking for Fa. So Fa equal to, انقل كل شيء على الطرف الثاني. لو طلع mg عامل مشترك, I will end up with mu k cosine 60 plus sine 60. ليش بلس مش ماينس؟ because يعني انا نقلت على الطرف الثاني فصارت هذه بلس، ونقلت هذه على الطرف الثاني صارت بلس. اوكي يا شباب؟
Clear.
Let me continue here. The work applied will be equal to FAD, which is equal to mg mu k cosine 60 plus sine 60 times d, which is equal to 50 times 9.8 times mu k is 0.3 times cosine 60 plus sine 60 times 12. If you calculate this one, you will get something like 5,974 joule, which is almost equal to 6,000 joule, or 6 كيلو جول. اوكي يا شباب which is our answer.
يا
clear؟
دكتور
كمل.
عندي سؤال. الحين ما هو الورك يساوي الدلتا كي، والدلتا كي تساوي هاف ام في فاينل سكويرد ماينس هاف ام في انيشال سكويرد. طيب دام الفيلوسيتي كونستنت ليش ما قلنا الفي فاينل تساوي الفي انيشال، بالتالي الورك يكون زيرو؟
ما فهمت.
الحين يا دكتور الدلتا كي،
اوكي دلتا كي ايكوال كي فاينل ماينس كي انيشال which is equal half ام في سكويرد فاينل ناقص هاف ام في انيشال سكويرد. ليش الفي انيشال ما بتساوي الفي فاينل؟
الحين يقول لك كونستنت سبيد، يعني الفي انيشال مو يساوي الفي فاينل.
السبيد انيشال ايكوال سبيد فاينل بس الفيلوسيتي انيشال لا تساوي فيلوسيتي فاينل.
اها
اوكي
يعطيك العافيه دكتور.
الله يعافيك. clear this question يا شباب. if you understand this question trust me you are understanding chapter 5 and 6 and 7. okay this is chapter 7 يا شباب. okay here we have a 3 kilogram block mass is attached to a massless spring of force constant which is K 20 Newton per meter, see figure, and rests on frictionless surface. The block is pulled 2 meter. This means X initial is equal to 2 meter to the right and release from rest معناها V initial is equal to 0. What is the kinetic energy? He is looking for the kinetic energy when it is 1 meter to the right. يعني الاكس فاينل بتساوي 1 متر، بالتالي هي kinetic energy final to the right of the equilibrium position.
دكتور
تمام.
ترى ما اعرف افرق انا لحد الحين بين الاكس اي والاكس اف.
سوري ما تعرف ايش؟
افرق بين الاكس اي والاكس اف في المثال السبعين.
شوف امشي معي. The block is pulled 2 meter. انسحبنا البلوك هذا مترين. يعني هذا صار، خليك بالرسم معي هنا. سحبته صار هنا. طبعا هذا الاكويليبيوم. اول شيء سحبته 2 متر. كلير؟ بعدين طبعا كانت سرعته في انيشال بتساوي 0. انا سحبته ضليتني ماسك بيدي، تمام؟ انت ماسكه بيدك كم سرعته؟ 0. كم يبعد عن الاكويليبريم بوزيشن؟
2 متر.
2 متر. سو هذه بسموها اكس انيشال بتساوي 2 متر. ناو
عشان في اي يا دكتور.
سمي.
عشانها مع الفي اي.
هو كأنه السؤال بدأ وانت عامل له ستريتش 2 متر. تمام. بعدين يقول لك يو ريليزد فروم ريست. ايش يعني فروم ريست؟ الفي انيشال 0. ريليز يعني تركته. لما انت تتركه ايش يصير فيه؟ يروح لهذا الاتجاه، صح؟
يرجع.
لان هو يرجع يبدا يروح لليسار، لان في اللحظه اللي وصل 1 متر يعني كان هنا في اللحظه اللي صار هنا، خلينا نقول، او خلي الاكس 0 هذه الاكس 0. في اللحظه اللي وصل هنا كم يبعد؟ 1 متر. هذه الفاينل. كم الكاينتيك انرجي؟ واضح؟
صح.
اوكي. What is the kinetic energy? To find the kinetic energy, and I know that the work is equal to delta K, which is equal to K final minus K initial. Since V initial is equal to 0, so kinetic initial is equal to 0, right? So work يساوي K final only. which is we are looking for. So we need to find the work. Here we have spring, so the work is called work spring. And I know that the work of the spring is equal to half K X initial squared minus half K X final squared. This is equal to K final, which is we are looking for. عوض.
ترم اليسار اللي يروح.
Sorry.
ترم اليسار يروح.
This is term اليسار ماله؟
اللي فيه الاكس انيشال.
Yes هذا ايش؟ هذا الورك حق سبرينج.
يا ما يروح يعني عشان صفر.
ليش صفر؟ ما في صفر. الاكس ما بتساوي صفر.
اي صح ما تساوي صفر.
هي بتساوي صفر. الكي is equal to 20 times x initial, which is 2 squared minus half 20 times 1 squared. This equal to طلع نص ال 20 عامل هذه 10. This equal هذه become 10 and this become 10, which is equal to 40 minus 10 equal to 30 joule, which is our answer. Clear يا شباب؟
شكرا.
طيب يا شباب, this barcode is for the attendance. This barcode is for the attendance. Please do the attendance now. Please do the attendance now.
دكتور لازم نسوي مع كل سؤال يجي ولا خلاص مرة واحدة؟
لا هي مرة واحدة، اللي ما عمل يعمل، لأن الشباب يقولون إنه هذا شرح للسؤال. شباب please do the attendance now. إلى الآن 0.
كيف زيرو يا دكتور؟ مسوي انا.
اوكي تمام سوري. 0 هذا حق شابتر 8 بعدنا ما طلعنا شابتر 8. شباب 1 minute, please do the attendance now. You are free to do evaluation or not, but please do the attendance. Okay شباب. This is very important question. Can be solved in 2 ways. First way using chapter 7, the other way chapter 8. Next time I will start our session from the same question, but I will solve it according to chapter 8. طيب here اوكي شايفين الشاشة اصلا؟
ايه
تمام.
شايفين دكتور هذا السؤال تبع شابتر 8.
هذا chapter 7 وينحل بشابتر 8 على الجهتين ينحل. بشرح لك اياه بشابتر 7.
هذا اخر سؤال.
هذا اخر سؤال بس في عندي اكسترا كويشنز اذا حابين تجلسوا احل بعض الاسئله زياده بنحل.
طيب
اوكي طيب we have a mass.
يا دكتور ممكن سؤال اللي قبله؟
ماني سامع.
ممكن السؤال اللي قبله دقيقه.
اوكي ابشر. تمام.
القانون هو نبدي بالانيشال ناقص الفاينل لو الفاينل ناقص الانيشال. اخر قانون.
work s is equal to half kx initial squared minus half k final squared. احنا دائما تعودنا نشوف الكي فاينل قبل الكي انيشال، لكن الورك راح تلاقي العكس.
اوكي تمام.
لكن next chapter you will find the potential energy. potential energy راح تلاقيها اختلفت، صارت الفاينل قبل الانيشال. اوكي طيب يا شباب. Here we have the mass is 20 kilogram is attached to a massless spring with constant 380 Newton per meter that passes over a frictionless massless pulley as shown in figure 3. Now the mass is released from rest. Released from rest means V initial is equal to 0. With spring and stretch. ايش يعني unstretch؟ لما تشوف هذه الكلمة unstretch means x initial is equal to 0. تمام؟ لا نشرح لكم اياها. What is the speed طبعا عندي ال V initial equal to 0. What is the speed of the mass at the instant when it has dropped vertical distance؟ يعني نزل vertical distance اللي هي x final واللي هي نفسها ال D. x final للسبرينج ودي للجسم هذا equal to 0.4 متر. السؤال كان يقول لك أنا عندي هذه الماس attached to this spring on this pulley and attached to this attached to this string and attached to the spring. لأن أنا ماسكها بيدي. Okay? Spring is at rest and stretch, which means x initial إله صفر. X initial equal to 0. Now when I release it طبعا وال V initial صفر. Now أنا تركت الجسم هذا فنزلت لتحت. صارت هنا. Okay, if it drops down due to gravity شو راح يصير في السبرينج هذا؟ It will be stretching, right? To x final, which is equal to 0.4. This 0.4 is similar to D. 0.4. يعني المسافة هذه هي نفسها المسافة هذه. صحيح؟
صح.
When it reach this level, what is the velocity? هذا هو السؤال. كلير يا شباب؟ يعني أنا عندي كلير؟ إيش المطلوب من السؤال؟
كلير.
Okay. يعني let me summarize the given. I have x initial equal to 0, x final equal to 0.4 meter. I have v initial equal to 0, v final needed. We have k equal 380 Newton per meter. We have the mass equal to 20 kilogram. Now, since I have two systems, spring and mass hang in a pulley, I can, instead of saying that work is equal to delta k, I say work net is equal to delta k. And work net is equal to work due to gravity plus work due to spring is equal to delta k. Or instead of delta k, okay, let's keep it delta k. Now, the work of gravity, the work of gravity acting down and D is down, right? This is Fg and D in the same direction. Okay, so this one is Fg or Mg, خلينا نحطها على طول. Mgd cosine الصفر, which is 1, plus Ws is half kx initial squared minus half kx final squared equal to half mv final squared minus half mv initial squared. From the giving, I know x initial is equal to 0, so this one will give 0. And I know that v initial is 0. So I will end up with mgd minus 1/2 k x final square equal to 1/2 mv final square. He's looking for v final. فأقول إنه v final is equal to mgd minus 1/2 أو خلينا نقول v final square 1/2 k x final square divided by 1/2 m. But I'm looking for v final. فأنا أشيل السكوير هذه وأضع الجذر. Okay? If you calculate this one, square root of mass is equal to 20 times 9.8 times d 0.4 minus 1/2 times k 380 times x final 0.4 squared. Note that x final is equal to d. لأنه the falling of the particle is equal to the stretching of the spring.
متصلين في نفس السيستم صح؟
Sorry?
لأنهم في نفس السيستم يعني.
Yes. Equal to divided by half times the mass is equal to 20. If you calculate this one, you will get that V final is equal to 2.19 meter per second, which is almost equal to 2.2 meter per second, which is this answer. Clear يا شباب؟
يا دكتور عندي سؤال.
تفضل.
الحين ام جي يوم حطيتها ليش ما قلت بالسالب؟
ليش ما قلت بالسالب؟
ايه.
Okay. Always we have gravitational force. If you have, for example, elevator خلينا نقول اتجاه هذه لتحت FG تمام. FG is equal to mg. أنا here I don't يعني deal with vector as كيف أقول لك، أنا يهمني الماجنتيود إلها، لأنه أنا عندي FG دوت D حتى لو عملتها بالسالب. اوكي خليها as a vector عشان نحيد الاتجاه تمام. This is equal to magnitude of FG times the magnitude of D times cosine theta. صحيح؟ Now خلينا نقول FG للأسفل خليها سالب. اوكي طيب D كان هنا ونزل لهنا، يعني نزل بهذا الاتجاه تمام. فبالتالي إشارتها سالب ولا موجب؟
سالب لأنه نزل له صح؟
تمام سالب. طيب الآن كم الزاوية بينهم الاف جي والدي؟
زيرو.
زيرو.
نفس
ساين ثيتا is equal to 1 يعني محايد ما راح يأثر عليه. طيب سالب اف جي ضربتها في سالب دي ايش بتعطيني؟
ام جي دي بوزيتيف.
ليش ما بعد طيب سالب؟
اوكي ضربنا الإشارة.
تمام. طب لو انا عندي هذا المصعد انت جالس تسحب فيه لفوق تمام، في عندك قوة لتحت ام جي صحيح؟
عكس
تصير نيجاتيف ام جي دي لأن الزاوية.
طيب في هنا أي سؤال ثاني؟ Let me show some other questions and يعني try to solve as much as we can. Okay. شايفين الشاشة الحين؟
ايه شايفين.
طيب. راح يعني ناخذ تقريبا خلينا نقول ربع ساعة أو ثلث ساعة نحل as much as we can. I will start with for example this question. خليني بس أخذها سنيبينج سناب شوت وأضيفها هناك. For example this question. Okay. I will paste it here. Can you see the question?
Yes.
Okay. Now, a net horizontal force هذه ال F net equal to 50 Newton acts on 2 kilogram block which starts from rest V initial equal to 0 on horizontal frictionless surface. The rate at which the work is being done ايش يعني rate at which work is being done؟ معناها الباور. تمام. By this force at t يعني دلتا t equal to 2 second. كم يساوي الورك؟ اوكي يا شباب؟
اوكي.
تمام. I know that الباور is equal to work divided by delta t. I have delta t but I don't have the work. لكن I have force, mass and velocity.
دكتور على طاري الباور، في الفورمولا شيت فيه حق الديريفيتيف وحق الافريج، وش استخدمه كيف ومتى؟
الآن average power الwork over delta T instantaneous power dW by dt. Now حسب الجيفنج إذا عندي F وعندي V فالباور equal F dot V. إذا عندي F وعندي D فالباور equal F dot D على T. Clear؟
I guess.
أعيد؟
عيده.
طيب إذا قال لي average power هنا بالأحمر راح أعملها. B average لازم تساوي الورك على الدلتا تي، بكون معطيك الورك او something يعني بيوصل للورك. instantaneous باور اللي بتكون بي لوحدها هذه بتساوي دي دبليو باي دي تي. ممكن يعطيك فانكشن دبليو از فانكشن اوف تي مثل ار اوف تي تشتق. طيب لو اعطاني الاف والفي بتقول البي يساوي اف دوت في. لو اعطاني الاف والدي تقول الباور يساوي F دوت دي على تي. كلير؟
اي هذا كلير.
طيب now here we need to find W. So W is equal to F dot D. I have F but I don't have D. So what should I do? مين عنده idea how to start with this question?
We can find the acceleration.
Yes, from where?
And velocity.
If equal MA.
We say F net equal to MA. So A is equal to F net over M, which is equal to 50 over 2 or 25 meter per second square. طلعت الاكسلريشن. Then
ممكن أطلع السرعة. سرعة final velocity
is equal to V initial plus AT, which is equal to V initial عندي 0 plus 25 which is the acceleration times T اللي هو 2 واللي هي بتساوي كم 50 متر بير سكند. فأنا طلعت إيش الحين؟
الفي اف
final velocity.
طب أنا عندي final velocity وعندي already initial velocity. أقدر أطلع الورك. أقول الورك
دلتا كي
which is equal to K final minus K initial which is equal to half mv final squared minus half mv initial squared. Luckily this equal to 0 لأنه عندي الفي initial 0 from rest. فبالتالي الباور صفى عندي ايش يساوي؟ half mv final squared over delta t which is equal to half times 2 times 50 squared over time 2. كده صحيح؟
دكتور كذا بيطلع الناتج غلط، بيطلع 1250.
دقيقة شوي. خليني احسب على الكالكوليتر. هذه مع هذه بتروح. اوكي في عندي
اعتقد في غلط في السؤال.
اوكي التي كم هنا معطينا اياها؟
المفروض الناتج 1250.
احنا عملنا شيء غلط هنا.
لا كل شيء صح.
ما ادري ليش هنا حاطين ال 2500. 2500 هذه الورك. هذه الورك صحيح؟
صحيح. الباور 1250.
اوكي this is هذه جول. المفروض هذه الورك هذه لانه الورك يساوي نص ام في سكوير بيطلع 2500 جول.
ممكن نستخدم القانون البي يساوي اف في ف 50 في 50 فطلع هذا الناتج.
F دوت V هي الاف لازم تكون فيكتور في اي اتجاه هي الاف هوريزونتال والفي مش عارف وين خطأنا. الاكسلريشن 25 صحيح. الفي فاينل بيساوي في انيشال زائد A في تي صحيح؟ بتطلع 50. بالتالي الفي فاينل تربيع 2500 بتطلع. الآن الورك بيطلع عندي 2500. لا اتوقع في خطأ في الإجابة. هذه الورك 2500 فور شور. الورك 2500 ما اتوقع انه عندنا غلط فيها. اي داوت.
طيب دكتور، القانون اللي يقول ال P equal F multiplied by V.
فهو كم الثيتا بينهم؟ Can you find the theta بينهم؟
They said it's horizontal.
Okay. I will check it. Okay. And I will check it. It could be like what our friend said that أنا عندي ال V final 50 بالتالي أنا عندي ال V equal to 50 ال F equal to 50 ال B equal F في V في cosine theta which is equal to 1 which is equal to 50 times 50 which is equal to 2500 watt. I will check. But يعني how comes إنه ال B نفسها ال W. I will check it. Okay, let's see another question. آخر اثنين حليناهم already موجودات. Okay, I will solve 7 and 8 together عشان نشوف ايش الفرق بينهم يا شباب.
شكل التايم غلط.
I don't know. I will check this question. هذه الدوكيومنت لأن أنا بصراحة لقيتها على الإنترنت مش أنا اللي حضرتها. I will check it. Don't worry. And and if you can do it, check it. طيب يا شباب خلينا نحل هذول السؤالين مع بعض ونوقف هنا. Okay. Now look our first to question number 7. A 6 kilogram block initially at rest is pulled to the right along horizontal frictionless surface. لاحظ هنا قال لي frictionless surface by constant force F equal to 12 Newton. Find the speed of the block after it has moved 3 meter. So هذه دي بتساوي 3 فبده ال V final. هذا easy. بس بدي اروح للسؤال اللي بعديه اقراه على طول. A 6 kilogram block initially at rest is pulled to the right at horizontal rough surface حيث انه عندي الميو K هذه ميو K is equal to 15 by a constant force 12 Newton. Find the speed. Note that we have the same question. But الأول frictionless الثاني rough. Okay. Just this can help us to understand what is the meaning of يعني إذا كان في عندي friction. What's the difference between the with friction or frictionless. Okay شباب. طيب. For the first one, let's start by 7.
نفس الأعداد يعني.
نفس الشيء بس هذا فيه friction وهذا ما فيه friction. نحل أول شيء 7. Find the speed. Okay. أنا أقدر أقول إنه work is equal to delta K. F dot D أو FD is equal to half mv final square minus half mv initial square. F is equal to 12. اوكي الفي initial بتساوي 0 we can eliminate this one. He's looking for V final. So V final is equal to FD over M تحت الجذر. وهذه equal to 2 times 12 times 3 over 6. And this give us وين calculator؟ اللي معه calculator شباب يحسب معي. 2 ضرب 12 ضرب 3 تقسيم 6. This give us 3.46 meter per second. يعني almost our answer. يعني 3.5 معطينا اياها. طيب الان دحين السؤال اللي بعديه 8. شوف الديفرنت ايش؟
دكتور في there is another way it's faster and easier.
يا دو شوف علي، شوف any way يعني اللي انت تحس انها مناسبة. لكن انا I have to do it in details.
In chapter 2 I used the equation vf square equals vi square plus 2ad.
Yes.
You can find the acceleration by divide 12 Newton by 6, you will get 2. So the root of 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3, which is equal 3.46.
اوكي الان احنا شوف اذا بتتذكر انا قلت لك السؤال هذا وين راح؟ السؤال هذا حليته بطريقه اللي هي على طريقه شابتر 7 هذا السبرينج اخر سؤال. الان لما
Yes.
نبدا شابتر 8 definitely you will not use this method. Definitely you will use the other method. اوكي لانها شوي اسهل. طيب نرجع هنا. نشوف سؤال 8. الآن سؤال 8 نفس السؤال، اللهم في عندي أنا فريكشن. فبقول هذا هو الجسم، هذه القوة المؤثرة عليه. في عندي mg للأسفل. I have F normal. I have الفورس الابلايد. I have الفريكشن فورس. صحيح؟ So here what I will say that work is equal to delta K, which is actually work net, and this work net is equal to work due to applied force plus work due to friction equal to K final minus K initial. K initial صفر لأنه عندي initially at rest. صحيح؟ الwork due to applied force is F dot D cosine theta plus work due to force friction Fk dot D cosine theta is equal to half mv final squared. We are looking for v final. الآن هو يقول لك الفورس لليمين تمام and it pulled to the right.
distance meter.
FD للرايت فبالتالي FD cosine theta is equal to FD صح؟ لأن تجاه دي بهذا الاتجاه. Now on the other عندي الفريكشن فورس to the left والدي to the right فهي بتصير اف دي كوساين ال 180 يعني ماينس اف دي ماينس اف كي دي equal to 1 half mv final squared. صحيح؟ طيب and I know that الاف كي equal to mu k fn والاف ان عندي هنا بتساوي ام جي فصارت عندي اف دي ماينس mu k mgd equal to 1 half mv final. فبالتالي انا عندي الفي فاينل طلع الدي فور اكزامبل عامل مشترك فبتصير f minus mu k mg d over 2m تحت الجذر. اذا بنعوض الارقام خلينا نعوضها مع بعض. f is equal to 12 اذا في حدا معه كالكوليتر 12 ماينس الميو كي كم قلنا الميو كي؟
دكتور why it's over 2m not
half m 1 half sorry.
So 2 should be the numerator.
Yes, half m. Sorry. Minus 0.15 times الماس. كم قلنا الماس؟ 6. Yes, 6 times 9.8 الجميع في دي اللي هي كم دي؟ 3
yes.
على half times 6 under square root. كم يطلع جواب يا شباب؟
1.783.
1.78. Okay.
Yes.
Which is equal 1.8. Okay. Almost يعني. اللي هي إجابتنا 1.78 أو تقريبا 1.8 متر بير سكند. كلير يا شباب؟ يلا
Yes.
يعطيكم ألف عافية. Let me stop the record.